Don't look now, but the Yankees are getting some Lombard supports. My guy, King George, goes deep in his Yankee debut. We're breaking it down. We're going camping around the NFL. Zay gets paid. Micah made Cowboy up. Darts gets disciplined. What the hell is Justin Herbert doing at practice? Come canoodle with us on Schein Time right now.
The 0-2. Hit in the air. Deep left field. Torres back. George Lombard Jr. has entered the yard and left it.
The feeling just running the bases there after you hit the home run. What was going through your mind?
I mean, excitement. Still kind of all processing, but yeah, it was really cool. And then like I said, being a close game, and it was a big run. So yeah, this is probably a moment, a swing, a day I won't forget forever.
All right, today Yankees fans are going to remember forever. How sweet was that? And our guy Ryan Ruocco nailing the call as he always does. One of the best play-by-play voices in all of sports. On the YES Network last night, Lombard support. King George goes deep in the Yankee debut. Back page of the New York Post hits as always. And listen, for George Lombard Jr. to hit a home run in his first game as a New York Yankee, first game wearing the pinstripes, with his mom and dad in the stands. If you didn't have the chills last night, check your pulse. That was unbelievable. But to me, and Lombard was able to take an 0-2 pitch, a curveball, hang 'em and bang 'em. It was like right out of central casting, right out of a movie. It's what Lombard did in the field that frankly got me going. How about what transpired at the end of the second turns that gorgeous double play? Absolutely incredible. He's playing short. There's a ball that is hit in the hole between short and third. He looked like, dare I say, Jeter-esque going into the hole, and he was able to absolutely move like a cat, pounce on the ball, backhand, plant his feet, hard throw to second, turn to first, double play. And Paul O'Neill, not Skip Bayless, Paul O'Neill, the Yankee legend, the warrior in the YES Network booth, who never throws shade at anyone, said what every Yankee fan was feeling. This is from Paul O'Neill. This is a double play you haven't seen turned in the Yankee infield all year. Truer words have never been spoken. That was beautiful, accurate, honest from Paul O'Neill. Also underscored the fact that what the hell were the Yankees doing with Anthony Volpe all season long? And this is exactly what the Yankees have been missing. So now we had Derek Jeter on my SiriusXM radio show, Paul O'Neill last night in the YES Network booth, Yankee winners and warriors and legends and champions and guys who are in Monument Park describing just how inept Anthony Volpe was as a big league player. And how sweet is that? You can put Volpe in the past tense. But for the Yankees to get that kind of productivity from Lombard last night in the field, in terms of what he sounded like and what he said pregame, I mean, this is his first major league game, and he sounded like he's been around the block. Sounded like he was pushing 30. Sounded like he was a 10-year vet. He was cool. Now, his dad has been in the big leagues for a long time. This was a special, special night for George Lombard Jr., special night for his family. His brother was making his baseball debut, was a top pick in the draft, and he hit a homer last night. That's one of those nights you're never going to forget as a Lombard family member or a fan of the New York Yankees. And, just having a guy who can absolutely handle the spotlight. And Lombard, to me, and I'm not going to sit here and go nuts, right? When you look at the standings in the American League East, I still maintain that you are going to see Tampa Bay ultimately finish in first, and Boston will finish in second place. I'm not going to sit here and change my tune just because I'm energized by what we saw from our guy George Lombard Jr. last night. Doesn't mean that all of a sudden Aaron Judge is going to walk through that door or Giancarlo Stanton is going to walk through that door. But these are the kind of games, a well-pitched game on both sides, 2-0 game, pitching, defense, timely hitting. Yankees have to be able to win. And the hero last night was George Lombard Jr. And look, we've talked about it in terms of the hypothetical of Lombard getting up to the bigs. He's everything Volpe's not. A pro's pro, juice, energy, likability. The aforementioned Ryan Ruocco talked about the charge and the juice and the playoff-like ambiance at Yankee Stadium. Look, the Yankees have just been kind of a flatlining team when you watch them play since Judge got hurt. You know, no reason as a fan to get super excited. No reason as a player to think it's going to be a game that's going to have pop or sizzle. Lombard Jr. has officially shifted everything, especially when you consider the injuries. You consider the snooze fest that was Brian Cashman at the trade deadline. The Red Sox make monster moves. The Yankees did basically nothing on Monday after brilliantly getting Garcia on Sunday. Lombard Jr. changed everything. The excitement level, the interest level, the credibility, the defense. And look, I stand by what I said about Lombard yesterday. I expect him to be a really good player, a monster upgrade, not Anthony Volpe. Do I think he's going to hit 50 home runs over the next couple months? No. But you sign up for great at-bats. He talked about it before the game. You sign up for unbelievable defense, phenomenal baseball IQ. Baseball is important to him. Top prospect, baseball family. You saw Garrett Cole last night when Lombard got into the dugout a couple of times, and Troy Benjamin, the outstanding producer for the Yes Network, stayed on that shot. It was reading the thought bubble over Garrett Cole's head. You could see his smile that was omnipresent on his face. I mean, as if to say, I have to deal with Volpe behind me at shortstop, but now I've got someone who can actually man the position and have great at-bats and what they mean in terms of the grind of the dog days of August in a baseball season. Lombard's support, brilliantly stated. I mean, this is it. What a debut. And here's one of those things, right? Because oftentimes, you always get a flash in the pan. I mean, Kevin Moss, remember him? Shane Spencer, remember him? There's no way, because I'm not even judging what transpired, and the whole thing was so cool and surreal last night. I'm not judging it on the homer. I'm judging it on the defense. I'm judging it on pregame, postgame, likability, credibility, high baseball IQ. And remember, for any team in the American League that makes the playoffs this year, you're going to have a shot. American League is wide open. Listen, I still think the Red Sox are an absolute wagon right now. They bashed the hell out of the Chicago White Sox, destroyed them 14-2. I mean, you look at the energy and the juice in Boston right now. It's just absolutely incredible, especially after trading for the best relief pitcher available and the best catcher available. But last night, finally, feels like it's been a minute, was the Yankees' time to shine. And I give Lombard Jr. all the credit in the world for changing the feel around my New York Yankees. That was inspiring and awesome last night. To the Dodgers now. Tarik Skubal made his debut for L.A., and he did not disappoint as expected. So how did he feel about putting on the Dodger blue for the first time? He talked about it.
Going to bed last night, excited. It felt like, my major league debut. Kind of same type of vibe in terms of, the nerves running through, but I think that's all good stuff. Yeah, I mean, baseball is baseball. The game's the game. It's my job to just go out there and compete and do what I can and try to put our team in a position to win a ball game. And that's all I can ask myself to do. But the game's always just a game. Yeah, I mean, I think my stuff was plenty good. I felt like I commanded everything really well. I think, maybe the low strike rate, I don't even know what it is. But no, he told me I was done. I felt good, though, just kind of expressed that to him. But I'm going to trust him in those decisions and where he wants to go. He's the manager for a reason, so I'm always going to, support whatever he thinks is best. But, I think he was, just words of encouragement about the outing, obviously. But, I'm always going to trust where he goes.
Couple of things on Skubal last night and also what he said after the game. And this is why I think Dodgers fans should be energized. Even as they lose to the Cubs, and they have now lost 5 straight games. Skubal was solid. The way we're framing it, the way we're phrasing it, to me, is spot on. Look at his stat board. 6 innings pitched, 2 runs, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts, okay? The issue to me for Skubal last night, and you see it in red, and if we have it in red, that's usually not good. Lowest strike rate in any of his starts over the past 3 seasons. So that's, if you do the math, 60%. That's not what you want, and you're never going to see that again. I will bet you, and if you're a Dodger fan, this is actually kind of energizing. There's no way that you will see that low of a strike rate for someone who just pounds the strike zone and does a great job in terms of mixing up the eye level for the batters. Look, Skubal is a human, right? Making millions of dollars, going to make millions more. Obviously, the apple of the Dodgers' eye. You know, if people say he broke baseball, that's nonsensical. There's a lot of pressure on Tarik Skubal. He admitted he was nervous, right? He was anxious. He was, as we say to the kids, nerve-sided, nervous and excited, all rolled into one, right? I mean, that's legit. By the way, and as bad a performance as you can have, 6 innings pitched, 2 runs, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts. And if you watched the game last night, and I know that you did, Kyle Tucker, who did a home run for L.A., he absolutely botched the ball in the outfield. And look, it's not going to go down in the books as an error. He should have caught the ball that Bregman drove to the wall in right field. That's a bad job by Kyle Tucker. So he could have helped him out there in terms of having the ability to give Skubal, another out and get him out of an inning. Now, Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow did both pitch last night for the Dodgers in terms of rehab assignments. And Blake Snell was pitching in AAA, Glasnow in Single A. Snell was supposed to go, according to our friend Jack Harris with the California Post, Snell was supposed to go 5 innings, only went 3 and change because the pitch count was up. Again, not a great sign. Just doesn't mean he's ready now. But here's the thing when it comes to the Dodgers, right? And I think this needs to be stressed. And I've talked to Derek Jeter about this when it comes to the quest for a three-peat. At the end of the day, the Dodgers are built for October. And the Dodgers, and Jeter made this point to me, and it's so true, they have the ability to be able to see the forest through the trees. And it's not turning it up a notch come October baseball. There's a trust. There's an infrastructure. So for the Dodgers, you're not going to sweat the dog days. You'd rather win than lose, right? I mean, how's that as an elementary statement? But I'm not pushing a panic button on the Dodgers losing 5 straight games. By the way, to the Red Sox and the Cubs, a couple of teams that I think can absolutely challenge when it comes to beating the Dodgers come playoff time. Red Sox obviously would have to be in the World Series. Cubs, after their trade deadline, listen, they could absolutely, certainly be a bigger factor come playoff time going up against L.A. Shohei Ohtani's currently not pitching. That's obviously a deal. You could eventually have Yamamoto and Skubal and Snell and Glasnow and Ohtani all together. And the Dodgers know what it takes to do this. Win a championship. That's the deal. I'm never going to bet against them. Look, I think the Cubs vastly improved. I think the Padres vastly improved. Luis Arraez had a couple of big RBI, big hits. Love that Don Mattingly batted him 4th last night in the Phillies batting order. Philly able to take care of business. I'm still betting on the Dodgers. But for anyone who used their platform, any Twitter tough guys, any social media warriors, any talking heads looking and starving for attention. Oh, the Skubal to the Dodgers broke baseball. No, the Dodgers need to break a losing streak. The Dodgers have broken pitchers who are currently on minor league rehab assignments because they're not 100%. Skubal last night was solid. Skubal's going to equal another World Series. The Milwaukee Brewers should have traded for him. The Dodgers are the most vulnerable and most ripe to be knocked off in the playoffs of any of the last 3 years that they've won the whole thing. Last 2 years they won a championship. In route, in my opinion, doing it this year. The Brewers should have made the trade. Listen, they didn't. That's a failure on the part of the Milwaukee Brewers. Skubal last night admitted nerves. The lowest strike rate he's had in 3 years. And still only gave up 2 runs and would have been even fewer if it wasn't for Kyle Tucker and what transpired in the outfield. This, to me, was energizing if you're a fan of the Dodgers. And on a night where Skubal made his debut and you see Blake Snell and you see Tyler Glass now throwing in the minor leagues, you could dream, right? If you're a Dodger fan, you could go into the crystal ball. I think it's going to be another October filled with literal Dodger blue skies for LA and another championship for Dave Roberts and company. So to come on Schein Time, we're going camping, NFL style. John Harbaugh got mad. Another star NFL running back wants Bijan's bag. And Micah Parsons has eyes on being ready to face his former team. That's all next.
Standing up here in front of the New York Giants. The New York Giants. It's the New York Giants sitting in this room. The New York Giants. Wow, it's an honor. It's an honor to stand in front of this room right now. And I know those coaches back there feel the same way, right, coaches? Certainly. It's an honor, man.
I can't get enough of that soundbite. And John Harbaugh talking to the New York Football Giants in the offseason, getting everyone ready. Never confuse the excitement from Harbaugh when it comes to the discipline and why John Harbaugh is the right guy at the right time. We talked earlier this week on Schein Time about how pissed off he was, and rightly so, letting Cam Skubal know, backflip at Fanatics Fest, that's about as dreadful as it gets. That can't happen. And Skubal learned the lesson and said he's never going to do that again, never do another backflip, won't do it at a Fanatics Fest, won't do it in a practice, won't do it in a game. No more backflips from Cam Skubal. One of the reasons why I love the Harbaugh hire is the impact he can have on Jackson Dart, who is obviously a terrific talent, but needs to be reined in, needs to be harnessed. So yesterday at Giants practice, and a practice that, according to all the reports, the defense was outplaying the offense. And Jackson Dart finally scored, got the offense into the end zone, touchdown on the offense, and he took the football and he was joyful and he was looking to celebrate, and he took the pigskin and he chucked it at Greg Newsome Jr.'s helmet. And he was pissed off, and Harbaugh was pissed off. And as a result, on the extra points, just backed everyone up 15 yards because, in theory, if that's a game, that's a taunting penalty. Unbelievable. Take a listen to what Harbaugh said when he talked to the press.
I think it's a 15-yard penalty for taunting, so we backed up the extra point and had to do it again.
Did you say anything to Jackson there?
I think he understands that we don't want it, for the game-winning extra point, we don't want it to be a 50-yard extra point or so, whatever it is. Do you think I need to say anything in that case? Pretty clear cut, right?
That's it. This is why all Giants fans should be thrilled to have John Harbaugh as the head coach. He didn't say anything that was over the top in terms of word choice. He sees something and acts swiftly and decisively on the field. Jackson Dart scores. Offense over the last decade for the Giants has been an eyesore, as atrocious as it gets. Jackson Dart as a player adds life and adds juice, but he also needs to grow the hell up. And I love Jackson Dart. I love who he is. I love what he represents on the field, the swashbuckling style, his ability to run, his ability to throw. Can't wait to see him finally throw the ball to Malik Neighbors when Neighbors is healthy. But Jackson Dart needs to understand ability and availability and getting out of bounds. And when you score a touchdown, you need to have the ability to make sure that you don't do anything dumb. And it's better to learn that lesson in a practice in West Virginia during training camp than on Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. So I love Harbaugh in general. I love Harbaugh specifically when it comes to accountability, discipline, and coaching these young guys up, because there's no more fun in games. That doesn't mean the Giants won't have attitude. But there's no more the Giants players can do whatever the hell they want, right? The Giants have a real Hall of Fame disciplinary coach. They used to have that forever in Tom Coughlin. John Harbaugh is the right guy at the right time. And he's going to maximize Jackson Dart. He's going to maximize Cam Skubal. He's going to maximize Malik Neighbors. This Giants team, which was penalized all over the place last year and prior years and had no discipline in any way, shape, or form, this is yet another example of why we're raising the bar when it comes to the Giants. Look, they start the season at home against Dallas, then they have to go on Monday Night Football and take on the Rams. I'm telling you, when you look at the Giants' next 4 games, they have a golden opportunity to win the next 4. We're raising the bar. There's accountability here with the Giants. 4-2 start. So I love the fact that John Harbaugh sees the moment, push the extra point back, let Dart know, you better think before you act like that. Phenomenal job. Once again, in terms of a different message and discipline, John Harbaugh football. This is going to be phenomenal here for Big Blue. To Colts camp now. Following Bijan Robinson's record-breaking extension with the Falcons yesterday, you know that Colts star running back Jonathan Taylor's ears and his wallet would perk up. Here's what he had to say.
Hopefully, actually, I gotta go talk to my agent too. I gotta go talk to him and see where things are at. I've been trying to just focus on getting better, making sure I'm staying in shape. Like I said, I have faith, so I'm gonna tap in and check in with him. Now you got good news to me.
I love Jonathan Taylor, one of my favorite players in the NFL. Also a really, really bright guy, and basically just painted that picture. Yeah, he told his agent, get me paid like Bijan Robinson. So, first of all, great job by the Falcons getting ahead on it, right? Bijan got the bag, worth every single penny. But you're going to have a couple of running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs and Jonathan Taylor, who are now going to be up next. And listen, I do think, and this is why it's worth monitoring this situation, Taylor might not get Bijan money. He's a little bit older. I think Bijan has a little bit more sizzle right now. I think Jonathan Taylor is fantastic. And Jonathan Taylor, he's one of my favorite players in the league. He's coming off of an all-pro season. I'm a voter for all-pro. I mean, he's a first-team all-pro guy. I mean, look at these rankings right here. First in rushing yards. First in rushing attempts. Third in rushing yards. I mean, that's really awesome when you take a look at what he brings to the table in terms of how he's able to move the chains. And remember, and you see the rankings on the screen right there, you got to remember that Daniel Jones got hurt, and then every single team in the NFL stacked the box when you look at it, going up against Jonathan Taylor and the Indianapolis Colts. So I think the world of JT. I think he's going to ultimately get paid again. Remember, he went through this with the Indianapolis Colts a couple of years ago. Look, Chris Ballard is overmatched as a GM. Don't even know why he's still there in Indianapolis. But Jonathan Taylor is letting everyone know he wants to get paid like Bijan. Buckle up, Buttercup, if you're a fan of the Indianapolis Colts. Speaking of players getting paid, Zay's getting paid in Baltimore. The Ravens' top pass catcher inking a 4-year, $140 million contract extension with $108 million guaranteed. And when you listen to his head coach gush about his skill set, it's easy to see why Baltimore paid Zay.
And then I think when you watch him up close in practice and you realize that he has a very, very unique skill set for what people would say in stature as a smaller wide receiver. Right. He's twitchy enough, explosive enough, almost like he's willing to make tough catches, like he's got a mentality that nobody can cover him. Mm-hmm. And so he can play any position on the offense as far as like the wide receivers go. He's not just a slot guy. He's not just an outside guy. Mm-hmm. He's not just a gadget guy. He can do everything. He could be all of those things. And so I think, again, when you talk about coaches having a vision and a plan, I think our offensive coaches have a great plan and vision for maximizing the best players, mm-hmm. and Zay certainly being one of those guys. And I look forward to him getting the ball in as many ways as possible. Yeah. The more that guy touches the ball, the better we'll be.
So I want to give Eric DeCosta, the general manager, and Jesse Minter, the new head coach you just heard right there, credit, because look, when you see Baltimore and you see Zay Flowers and you see the numbers, right, in terms of the extension, I mean, it's kind of crazy when you look at the numbers. And even in terms of average annual value, it's like the old Sesame Street. I mean, which one doesn't belong? Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jamar Chase, Drake London, Zay Flowers, Justin Jefferson, and CeeDee Lamb. Those are the top 6 when you look at it in terms of AAV at the wide receiver position. Now, the one who doesn't belong is Zay Flowers. I do not consider Zay Flowers a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. But my ranking does not matter when it comes to what the Ravens think of him and when it comes to the contract and the necessity. Because we're talking about a guy, and I've interviewed Zay Flowers before, who's tough as nails, right? You know, this is a guy who went to Boston College and was a star. He's been everything the Ravens asked him to be. Tough, clutch, great hands, great speed, you know, fights through contact to yak the yards after the catch. Big-time player in big-time spots. I mean, he's absolutely incredible. I can't get enough. Now, I don't consider him a top 10 wide receiver. I do not think he's a top 10 receiver in the National Football League, but he's Lamar Jackson's go-to guy. And that's why you don't hesitate. Also, in terms of trust level, look, at the end of the day, Zay Flowers is the one guy Lamar Jackson trusts, the one guy that they have trusted in Baltimore at the receiver position to be reliable and be dominant. Now, can he become a 9,500 catch guy? I mean, you look at his numbers and you look at his rankings, and, you know, frankly, with Zay Flowers, I don't consider him the elites of the elites. And this kind of, at the end of the day, slams it home. Right. There's a difference. I want you to pay attention to this. 86 catches and 1,211 receiving yards. Ravens records. Like, and remember, there were Lamar Jackson availability issues last year, and that takes it to a totally different level. But I don't consider him a top 10 guy. But for the Ravens, this is an easy decision. First of all, when in doubt, and the Ravens are great like this, the Eagles are fantastic like this, you always want to reward your own guys. Always want to reward your own guys. So I don't consider Zay a top 10 guy. The contract, the numbers are astronomical, and it's an easy case to be made that he's quote-unquote overpaid. But I get it. I wrap my brain around it. I understand it for the Baltimore Ravens. Keeping the wide receiver theme going, we head to Bills camp with the expectations of sky high for Buffalo. And my guy DJ Moore getting rave reviews from his teammates. Here's Deion Dawkins and Khalil Shakir.
DJ Moore, did he impress you? Has he impressed you?
So much.
Really? Tell me.
I'm telling you, the guy, he's quiet, he's calm, and he's a baller, and he likes football.
What's he going to do for Josh?
Get open.
Get open. Help, right?
He gets
I don't
open.
want to see this Josh Superman
Me neither.
nonsense.
Me
It's
neither.
nonsense.
Me neither. It's not nonsense, Kay.
What do you mean?
But he doesn't have to put it all on his back. And when he has a player that he can depend on that's going to get open, he can toss the ball to, it's cool.
Does he still have it? Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think whoever's saying that should probably delete their social media. I mean, the dude is unreal. The way he practices, the dude that he is, the football player that he is, real football guy. Even just, I don't know how long we've been up here, a week or whatever. Some of the stuff I've seen him do and the way I've seen him talk about the game is unreal. Honestly, it's a blessing to be around him and to be able to pick his brain.
Hey, Mr. DJ, I absolutely love this, and that's great stuff. I mean, what Deion Dawkins said to our good friend, the great Kay Adams, what Khalil Shakir said about what DJ Moore is bringing to the table, and what's not to love. Listen, I think DJ Moore is exactly the right guy at the right time and the perfect fit for the Buffalo Bills. You look at DJ Moore throughout his career, Carolina, Chicago, he not only can stretch the field, and he's unbelievable in terms of the breakaway ability, and Josh is going to be able to hit him, and he can stretch the defense, and king of the yak. I mean, he's amazing. He's also tough and clutch, and you saw that in Chicago last year. I mean, beating the Packers, what he did in crunch time, what he did in the playoffs. This is what separates DJ Moore from the pack. And when you start talking about Buffalo getting over the hump and Josh Allen having the right guys around him, and I've always subscribed to the belief that when you have a dominant group or a group that you want at the receiver position or the tight end position, they're built like a basketball team. You have a center, you have a power forward, you have a point guard in terms of skill sets and ability. You have Shakir in the slot. You have Moore who can stretch the field. Let's see if Keon Coleman can develop. You know, you take a look at the tight ends for the Buffalo Bills. Another year for Dalton Kincaid. He's going to have a monster season. Dawson Knox, all reliable for Josh Allen. But more to me, one of the biggest acquisitions on offense by any team this entire offseason. His teammates love him. Joe Brady loves him. Josh Allen's going to love him. And I'll tell you right now, DJ Moore, because he's done it his entire career. This isn't a bold take or a hot take. It's who he is and why the Bills fans are going to be jumping through tables. He's going to make plays when it matters the most. Make plays when it matters the most in big spots for Josh Allen and for the Buffalo Bills. That's why the Buffalo Bills and all the Bills teammates are obsessed with DJ Moore. How about ending our camp trip with the Green Bay Packers, where Micah Parsons is eyeing that Week 6 matchup with his former team, the Dallas Cowboys? Could he possibly be back for that epic meetup at Lambeau? He was asked.
I think it's very realistic. I just gotta, well, as me and the staff we gotta put the work in. We gotta get to the point where I'm feeling great and we say, Micah, you'll be in a really good phase. Is it possible? Yes. So I wouldn't say it's not possible, but at the same time, in these next, how many weeks is that?
It's week 6.
10 weeks? What is it, 10, 12 weeks from now? I don't know. We got to do our part to make it possible, but, you know, it's not off the board, but we got to put the work in.
I love that Micah Parsons is motivated by going up against the Dallas Cowboys. I absolutely love that. I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. And you know he wants revenge. And he wants to be there, center stage game, going up against Jerry Jones's team. We're basically at a year when we're talking about with a Micah Parsons deal that rocks the NFL and, frankly, sports. But here's what I think fascinating when you look at it from a Green Bay-Dallas perspective. And I did not have this on my bingo card a year ago. The Dallas Cowboys, a year after the trade, are much closer to the Super Bowl than the Green Bay Packers. And look, unfortunately for Green Bay, the injury is a part of this, right? I mean, the schedule is tough to start the season. And listen, I've been predicting forever here on Schein Time since the schedule was released. You know, I think without Micah Parsons, the Packers are going to start the season 0-2. Which includes a Week 2 loss at the Jets. I think Minnesota will beat them in week number 1. I don't think Jordan Love is that good of a quarterback. We've been over that. And Micah Parsons is the best player on the Green Bay Packers. So I also think Week 6 means everything rehab-wise goes right. I also think that when you start talking about getting him ready for Week 6, you know, is he just singularly focused on revenge with Dallas? Listen, I love Micah. I respect the hell out of Micah. I think Micah's unbelievable. But I just want to make sure that this isn't Cowboy game or bust. There's still bigger fish to fry in terms of his health. But Cowboys, listen, their defense in a terrific place, a phenomenal place. You know, first full season with Quentin Williams on the defensive line. Obviously got him from the Jets. Former Packer Rashawn Gary in the mix. I love that. Christian Parker coaching up the defense. They crushed the draft, A++ grade. Caleb Downs, outstanding. Malachi Lawrence, outstanding. It's incredible when you think about it. Not to mention, look at the weapons on offense. Better quarterback, Prescott versus Love. Receivers, not even close, with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Compare and contrast to the weapons at the receiver position for the Green Bay Packers. I really think it's not even up for debate when you do a compare and contrast with Dallas and Green Bay, which team is in better position for this year and making a Super Bowl run. Sadly for the Packers, the Parsons injury is part of it. We have some breaking news in the National Football League, and it's a transaction that we predicted on Schein Time. Ian Rappaport, our good friend from the NFL Network, broke the story. Stephon Diggs, former Patriot, former Texan, former Buffalo Bill, former Minnesota Viking, signing with the Washington Commanders. This is terrific. And when you look at the stats for Diggs last season with the New England Patriots, he put up some really strong numbers. And when you have 85 catches, 1,013 receiving yards, I mean, and Diggs has always been a primetime player, a big-time player. Now, I love Stephon Diggs. I think that he's a guy who energizes a locker room and then has a shelf life, right? I mean, there's a reason why Minnesota got rid of him, Buffalo got rid of him, Houston got rid of him, New England got rid of him. So I'm not telling you if you're a Commanders fan to rush out and buy his jersey, but when you think about Scary Terry McLaurin, I love Terry McLaurin. I think he's a terrific number one receiver. His entire season last year was derailed based upon what transpired when you look at the contractual situation. Washington screwed it up, ruined everything. But if you have McLaurin and Diggs, with Jaden Daniels throwing the football, all of a sudden that kind of changes the math and the feel and the equation around the Washington Commanders. We campaigned for this fit. You know, Diggs was on record saying he's the best number 2 receiver in football. I don't agree with that. I mean, T. Higgins, George Pickens, among others. But Diggs understands who he is and what he does and what he brings to the table. This was the fit for Steph Diggs, and a terrific pickup, a needed pickup by the Washington Commanders. Move over Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Or is it Taylor Kelce and Travis Swift Kelce? I don't know, whatever their names are. I mean, apparently they're still a thing. There's a new viral NFL celebrity power couple in town, and they're showing off to the world. Who is it? We'll show you after this.
What's your...
You know something I don't know, Chris? I mean, you get that look like you do. Let me know if you do, because I don't know for sure.
It's been mysterious.
I don't know for sure.
Seems like none of us
with
know.
anybody, you know. I mean,
if anybody would know, you would know. That's why I'm asking.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Well, you wouldn't know.
Am I in somebody's body? Am I a doctor? I've got a lot of things that hang on my wall, you know. But a medical degree is not one of them.
Jim Harbaugh, not a doctor, also does not play one on TV. It's interesting. Our senior executive coordinating producer, our guy Rich, just ordered me a doctor's costume for at some point during this football season for Schein time. But wait, there's more.
It's hard to explain. It's been so incredible. She's changed my life, and it's something I never thought was possible. And you know, it's so awesome to find your person, to be able to spend your life with them, and you know, I'm as excited and just can't wait. She's the best.
So that's Justin Herbert on SiriusXM NFL Radio during the training camp tour on SiriusXM. And Justin Herbert and Madison Beer, after a practice, were canoodling. That's right, canoodling. I mean, look at this. There's Madison Beer, and that's the key, right? You know, he's got the surfer hair, and watch that left hand again. That's the big thing, right? It's to make sure no flyaways. You know, as someone who gets their hair cut every 3 weeks and, you know, puts a lot of effort and energy into it, no flyaways, right? No flyaways. Now, let me say this. The internet is absolutely ablaze, right? Because it's Madison Beer and, you know, Justin Herbert, who usually doesn't say anything about anything. Justin Herbert is talking about, you know, they're engaged and he's excited and he's in love. And you know, have a lot of people just destroying the Chargers and season's over. And let me tell you something. Justin Herbert's going to have the best year he's ever had. It's Madison Beer. This takes Justin Herbert to a totally different level. And before anyone starts ripping on Madison Beer and it's, you know, corny and what quarterback's doing that and, you know, save it for a different place, not on the practice field. Let me ask you something. If you had hair in your face and Madison Beer was like, a couple flyaways, let me adjust that, what would you do in that spot? So, good for Justin Herbert. And I'll say it. This is going to be the year Justin Herbert wins a playoff game. This is going to be the year Justin Herbert wins the AFC West. And at the end of the day, they're not going to pop champagne. They're going to dump beer. because the MVP of the Chargers is going to be Madison Beer. I mean, look at this. It's the left hand. And look at Justin's face. Look at his smile. He's so happy. I get it. That's a show. If there's any portion of the show, just do what I do. Watch it over and over again. Because I love me, and you love me, and I love you. It's just one big Madison Beer, Justin Herbert, groovy kind of love. Just go to our new YouTube page, @Schein Time. I mean, look at these guys. This is great. I mean, when I get flyaways, I should just call Madison Beer. Why not? I mean, look at this. It's just great. Look at his face. Look at how happy he is. It's great. Now start winning a playoff game, Justin. Just win a playoff game. See you tomorrow on Schein Time.